hosted by the Rick Edelman College of Communication, Humanities and Social Sciences, and the Sports Communication Program, our Evening with Charles Barkley. How amazing is this going to be, guys? What do you say? And I love coming to these events, but I want to get some things out first. There always is some kid wearing a Giant shirt here in the fall. Anybody? I'm sorry, Mr. Cosgrove from our board. I apologize. You want to clap out the Giants? Go ahead. Oh, there we go. Right back there. At least it's not a Dallas shirt, right? How about that? So I do want to welcome everybody here, our students, our faculty, our friends. I want to note some special guests out here. We have our Chairman of Board of Trustees, Mr. Chad Bruner back here. Where are you, Chad? And from our Board of Trustees, Mr. Joe Cosgrove, a Giants fan, by the way. There we go. So I've been in this role a couple of years doing these events, and it never ceases to amaze me what an amazing program we built. And before I introduce our current dean, I want to thank the dean who built this program, Dr. Sandy Tweedy back there. Sandy, can you wave out and say hello? Years ago, he started this, and it has turned into something amazing. I look at the fantastic students we have out here. You guys are just incredible. So I wish you the best of luck as we go through this. So, but to begin the evening, I want to now introduce the current dean of the program, Dean Dr. Nawal Amar.
Good evening, everyone. So I want to give, where is Sandy? I want to give acknowledgement of the founding dean of this sports center. So let's acknowledge him one more time. So I'm Nawal Amar. I'm the dean of the newly aligned Rick Edelman College of Communication, Humanities, and Social Sciences. The college, of course, is proud to be the new home of the Center for Sports Communication and Social Impact. Many of you are actually members of that center, and it is such a thrill to welcome all of you here today for this momentous event as we host the one and only Charles Barkley at Rowan University. This is an incredible event. I have attended the 2019 event, and it was momentous. I still remember it 6 years later, including the COVID era that erased a lot of our memories. So it is going to be an amazing and incredible event, and it has been made possible through the vision and leadership of Neil Hartman, the center's director. He's a nationally recognized leader in sports communication. Neil brings to Rowan decades of professional experience and a passion for innovation and an unmatched dedication to mentoring students. I've gotten to know Neil the last 3 months, and he is an amazing supporter of students and will do everything he can to support them. Under his leadership, the sports communication program has flourished, preparing students not only to excel in the sports industry, but also to understand its broader social impact and cultural impact. We are deeply grateful at Rowan for everything Neil has built here and for the enormous contributions he has made and will be making to the students and this community. With that, it is my pleasure to hand things over to Neil, the heart and soul of the Center for Sports Communication and Social Impact.
What a great crowd. It's great to see you here tonight. Thank you for being here. You are in for a treat. treat tonight with Charles Barkley being here. How many of you were at our Tom McCarthy Pizza with the Pros last night? The sports communication media students right here in the front rows. We had 190 students there last night. We expect well over 700 again here tonight. And this is all part of the sports communication media program. If you'd like to learn more about the center and about sports communication and media here at Rowan University, check out the QR code on the back of your program. Hit that QR code and learn about what we're doing for the students that are here on campus that are interested in sports, might want to be interested in our program. Take a look. We'd love to have you be part of our program. But this is a heck of a week for us. We are thrilled to have Charles Barkley back here with us. Enough of me talking. Let's bring Charles Barkley. So, first of all, does he not look good? I mean, Charles, I'm telling you, you look good. Wait a minute, what are you doing? We're not sitting yet, Charles.
Yeah, we are.
No, we can't sit yet. You got to stand up.
No, we're good, man. Sit down.
No, we're going to be taking a picture. We got to take a picture.
How many pictures you taking?
We're going to take a lot.
God dang.
Yeah, I'm going to put you to work.
Come on, take a picture, man.
No, not with me.
What?
Look, let's turn off the house lights.
Oh,
Everybody
God.
wants to take a selfie with Charles Barkley.
Yeah, okay.
So let's take a selfie with Charles Barkley.
What are we
right
doing?
here. Come stand right here. Come here. Come here. Don't fall off the stage. This is like a comedy show right now. All right? We're going to take a nice picture.
Okay.
You're going to have all the students behind you so they get their selfie. Do not step back.
I know y'all were thinking I wanted a selfie.
All right. So, we got Will up here. All right? He's got the lights. He's got everything.
Right.
We'll take one with Charles, and I'll jump in there with Charles as well. All right? So, Will's going to let you know. All right, let's get the students. You can stand up, man. Stand up. Let's get excited. All right, let's stand up. Here we go. We're going to take another one. Hang on. Will's going to get a little lights. See, like, Charles, this is the ultimate selfie right now.
You can't get all these people in.
They're all in the picture, every one of them. All right, here we go. All right, now I get my picture. Come on, Charles, here we go. All right, now, hang on, we're not done yet. We have a lot of pictures. Where's the men's basketball team? We have to take a picture with the men's basketball team.
Yeah.
So let's bring the men's basketball team up. Where are they? By the way, the ladies are going to come up next. Let's bring the men right up here, up on stage. All right? Charles, you're going to be standing here. We don't want them falling off. So we're all going to be standing here. Will's going to be standing there. All right? See the way we got this all orchestrated. By the way, I want to thank Eric Brennan, the men's basketball team. I hope they have a lot of success this season.
How you doing?
They had practice today till 5:40, and then they came over here to the gym, or from the gym.
My pleasure, man. Welcome, brother. I'm good, man. You doing all right?
Once we get our pictures taken, we will then get the program underway. All right?
What's up, my man?
Thank you.
How you doing, man? Nice to meet you.
Man, this is like the biggest basketball team ever. How many guys we got? All right, guys, we got. By the way, come here, Sean. Come here, Sean. Everybody, round of applause, Sean Tucker, the new athletic director. Ready to go. Let's go. All right, get the picture, get in there. All right, Will's got everything all set up. Don't fall, Will. All right, you guys can catch him. Leah, you can catch him, right? All right, let's bring the ladies up here. Come on, bring the ladies up.
Of course, brother. Charles, brother. Just Charles. My pleasure, young gun. My pleasure. You're welcome.
I want to thank Kate Pearson, the women's basketball program head coach. Thank you, Kate.
Let's talk
Bring the
about
ladies up.
all right, take care of my guys. Take care of my guys.
All right.
Hello. How you doing? My pleasure. Thank y'all for having me. Hello. Hello. How you doing? Nice to meet everybody. Hello. Hello. Hey, baby.
Remember, everybody got their selfie already.
How y'all doing?
You guys are good.
Hello. you. Oh, my goodness. Thank you. How you doing, baby? Hi. Hello. How you doing? Hello. How you doing, baby? Thank y'all for having me. Hello, ladies. Hello. What's happening? What's up, man? All right.
So we got everyone. Make sure everybody can be seen. All right, here we go. Kane, you got to move over a little bit. We got Will right there. Oh, that's a good-looking picture. All right, thank you, ladies.
Hello.
Rowan women's basketball. Oh, they're getting their selfies. They're getting real selfies in there. All right.
Nice to meet everybody.
All right, now you can take a seat, Charles.
Okay.
All right, enough of the pictures until afterwards.
Thank y'all all for being here.
All right, you're sitting over here.
All right.
This is my better side.
You got a better side?
No, I knew that was coming. I was ready for it. All right, so first of all, Will Mendez, thank you very much for doing all that. He's set up in a hurry to get those photos for Rowan Athletics. And I want to say thank you again to Rowan Athletics. We've partnered with Rowan Athletics. We have currently 22 students working with their social media team, and it's been a fabulous partnership with Sean and his staff, so I want to thank Rowan Athletics. All right, so you're back here at Rowan again. Thank you for coming back.
No problem. I had a great time last time, and I'm glad to be back.
All right, so you have to go to work on October 22nd. Did you know the date?
I know it's that week. You know, I think the NBA, one of the things that's going to be interesting for they don't have a lot of respect for the fans, because the fans going to have to figure out where all these games are. We're on we're going to be on ESPN, but the fans are going to have to find NBC, Peacock, Amazon. So I think that's something that they take for granted. The fans are like, because they've been on the same network, same days a week for 40 years. But now, we're not on Tuesday and Thursday anymore. I'm not even sure what night they're on Amazon or NBC. I'm actually flying to Atlanta first thing in the morning because I've been really upset at the way they've handled this entire situation, because I don't know when I'm working. And I was like, who gets a job and they don't know when the hell they're working? So TNT, I think they really dropped the ball a lot with this whole negotiation, to be honest with you. So I'm actually, ESPN is flying down to Atlanta tomorrow to meet with all four of us. Say, this is y'all schedule. I'm like, yeah, about time the season get ready to start.
Yeah. So you have been with TNT for 25 years.
Yes.
25 years.
Uh-huh.
Inside the NBA. How many of you watch Inside the NBA? All right.
Thank you.
Charles, it's an iconic show. Do you think it's going to be different?
Well, it's going to be different for sure, for a couple reasons. And this is one of the things that we're concerned with. So when we're going to be on ABC, the best part of our show is after the game.
Yeah.
We have 45 minutes to an hour just to make sure people are having a good time. That's going to be gone pretty much, because when we're on ABC, we're going to go to the local affiliate quickly, and then when we're on ESPN, they're going to want to go to Sports Center. So the best part of our show is probably going to be gone. So it's going to change 100%. And I'm looking forward to the meeting tomorrow, because I just want to know, okay, are y'all going to give us any time? Y'all be like, because I was on Bill Simmons' podcast. He says, man, sometimes they'll say, you guys got 2 minutes. We got to go to the local affiliates. Then he said, sometimes they're like, you guys got 12 minutes, then you got to go to Sports Center. I'm like, we can't even have fun in 12 minutes.
Yeah, you guys go on forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you got some rerun of some movie, all right, we'll just push that back a half hour.
Well, we normally go from 7 to 2 in the morning, but the game ends around 1. between 1 and 1:15, and we just go to 2. So it's all, but we really try to make sure people, if they're gonna hang around that late, have a lot of fun. And it's gonna be interesting going forward, because like I say, whether we go to a local affiliate when we're on ABC, or when we're on ESPN, they're like, guys, you got a couple minutes, then we got to go to Sports Center. We can't let y'all just ramble on for 45 minutes. So it's fundamentally going to change. But hey, the most important thing was the people that I worked with got to keep their job, because that was my only concern. We kept probably 200 people employed. That's the only thing I really cared about, because you've been with people for 25 years, they're part of your family. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
So the NBA signed an 11-year, $76 billion media deal. Charles, billion.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how the public reacts to that. So we have about, I think, 7 players making like $70 million. In the next 3 or 4 years, we're going to have guys making 80, 90, 100 million a year. And then when these guys say, I can't play 2 days in a row, I think it's I says, yo man, we just can't keep crapping on the fans. Like, I think the fans at some point do have a breaking point. They're like, I don't mind you, we don't care if you make $100 million. We don't care if you make 30, 40, $50 million, but I bought my kids to see you play this one time this year. You played last night. It ain't like you no damn steel worker. It ain't like you're a nurse or a fireman or a cop or something, or somebody in the armed service who have to work every day. So I think it's going to be very interesting. I think the first thing is they told the fans, we just want the most money. Y'all find the games on your own. I think that was the first thing. I'm like, I'm not sure you should do it like that. Because the most important thing is the fans are an intricate part of sports. But the first thing, hey, we just gonna take the most money. We don't care what network is shown on. I think that was the first thing, yeah, you really don't care. And then, like I say, I never talk about how much money people make. Whatever you make, whatever you can get. But if you start making $85, $90 million a year, and you come to Philadelphia one time a year, and you're like, no, we played last night. I'm not gonna play LeBron and Luka or Steph or KD. Okay, you guys really don't care about the fans. So I think it's gonna be very interesting near the next couple years.
You were asked backstage, LeBron, Michael, that's a debate, goes on forever. You played in the Michael era, but you have a lot of respect for LeBron. But isn't it hard to judge one player from one era to another?
Yeah, it always is. And I love LeBron. I think LeBron's a really, really nice man and a great player. The difference between Michael and Kobe and LeBron, those two guys will kill your ass. That doesn't make one way different and one way right or wrong. Michael and Kobe, them dudes, they in my opinion, they were dangerous. They gonna win obsessively. They don't care about you or your feelings. And LeBron, I think he's a great, great player, but I think he's a nice guy. I don't think many people walk around in our generation saying, man, that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant's are nice guys. Those words were not spoken, but they're all great. I just said, in my opinion, that guy's gonna win no matter what. Yeah. I've said that, I said, those are 3 best players I've probably ever seen, but I said, but those 2 are different. They're going to win no matter what. They're not worried about it. Like Kobe didn't talk to his teammates. That's been like, no, we can't be friends. We work together and we're not friends. That was one of the things. And Obviously, you see in Michael's documentary, he didn't make a lot of friends on the team. But, and like I say, I don't think, I try not to judge which way is right or wrong, but I'm just telling you the difference in their personalities.
You were asked a really good question by one of our media students, and you had a chance to interview by students from the WIT, Rowan Television Network, and also Rowan Radio, and also social media was doing an interview with you. But Sarah Shockey, who's the sports editor for the WIT, asked you a really good question about the influence or the amount of women that are getting involved in professional sports now. What's your thought about what is happening now in professional sports and how it's now just a norm where it wasn't the norm even 5 years ago?
I think it's great, number one, anybody who plays sports. I think sports are good for you for several reasons. Number one, I think it forces you to get in shape. It teaches you how to work with other people. It teaches you, how to listen to authority, because 99.9% of people got to go out in the real world and deal with other people and listen to their boss and things like that. So I love when kids play sports. It's great what's happening to women sports, because for a long time there was not women's sports. You know, you look at all the stories, you talk to all the WNBA players, they played overseas most of their career. And now the last X amount of years, it's kind of exploded, and good for those ladies because they're tremendous talent, but that was just not a league good enough to support them. And now they're making waves and ratings, and the ladies are getting commercials, which they deserve and earn. So I think it's great. I think they got the soccer league is going now for women. It shouldn't be where just men can play sports and make money. I mean, that's just stupid.
But what about the amount of women that are now coaching, general managers, player personnel in the NFL, the NBA, even in Major League Baseball, we have general managers that are women. I mean, that's a significant change that's going on right now.
Well, it's about time. I mean, women can suck at a job just like a man can. If you can do a job, you deserve that opportunity. If you fail now, that's cool too. I think that a lot of times women and black coaches were like, give me a chance to suck too. And man, women, if they can do any job, I mean, I saw that Don Staley just took a chance with the Knicks job. And I like Dawn. I've known Dawn for 40 years. She's a terrific coach at South Carolina right now, a Philly legend. I didn't know she applied or they gave her a shot at it. But at some point, there's going to be a woman coach in the NBA. And it shouldn't be like, oh, I mean, trust me, there's some guy coaches in the NBA. I've been in the NBA for 40 years. There's some coaches in the NBA suck. Y'all know that. Yeah.
You're a fan of all sports.
Yes.
You love boxing, you love so many different sports and the traditional four sports and all that. What about the Eagles? What about that game the other night? What was your reaction to that, huh? What was your reaction?
I was pissed because I had the Rams in 3.5. Let me tell y'all something. I love to gamble. This weekend, I was in Panama. I just got back from Panama last night. I literally almost gave up gambling this weekend because Saturday night, I had Auburn in 6.5, and we were down 5 with 3 minutes to go. We started driving for a touchdown. We at the 30-yard line. We get a penalty. We at the 20. Okay, I'm still good. We get another penalty. We back at the 10-yard line. And the last play of the game was a sack. And the line goes, they win by 7. And I was like, and I knew it was going to be on Bad Beats with Van Pelt and my boy Stanford Steve. And I thought things couldn't get worse until Sunday. Now, I'm a big Eagles fan. I was like, the Eagles are going to win by a field goal. And I'm sitting there like, okay, if he makes it, hell of a game. We got a chance of going down and getting a field goal, maybe. But if he makes it, hey, it was a hell of a game. And when that big man was running down the field, I was like, catch him. Catch him, please catch him. So, no, I'm a big Eagles fan, but I haven't met Saquon Barkley yet. I'm really looking forward to it. I claim him, even though we're not related. You know what's so crazy about Saquon? He apparently plays golf every day, like I do. So I live in Arizona, but I live in Philly during the summer, and I played golf every day for the last 3 months. And this is 2 summers in a row. Every time I went to a golf course, the cat is like, Saquon played here yesterday. And I'm getting so pissed that the last 2 years he's been here, every time I go to a golf course, the caddies are like, Saquon played here yesterday. I ain't met this dude yet. I cannot wait to meet him because he seems spectacular.
So he does want to meet you. Mike Quick, who's part of our sports camp program, he's our professional resident, has said we're going to line it up. We're going to get Saquon and Charles together to play golf. Before I open it up, and you're going to get a chance to ask questions to Charles. This is really about you. We're just getting things started here. We have microphones on both sides of the aisles here, and you'll be able to ask your question to Charles. But I do want to, we ran a slideshow here before the pre-show, and it shows you growing up in Leeds, Alabama, on to Auburn, and then into the NBA. Can you just give us a little bit of insight about what was life like growing up in the rural South? You're trying to clean this up, aren't you?
As I tell people about, it's not as bad as you think it is. It's worse. I enjoyed my childhood because I did not know we were poor. I had a great mother and grandmother, and I had 3 brothers. 2 of my brothers have passed away. I got 1 brother left. My mom, my dad, and my grandmother all have passed away. So I got 1 brother left. We lived in the projects in a small town of a couple thousand people. But I felt safe there. I really did. But my mother and grandmother were great. My mom was a maid. My grandmother worked in the meat factory. And let me tell you something. If you don't ever eat chicken feet, okay? Because you're going to eat like $2,075 to get a full meal. My grandmother used to bring chicken feet home all the time. And if you ever seen a chicken feet, the only piece of the meat you can eat is like this little ball right here. So she'd put like 100 in a pot and boil them for like hours. And you get 1 bite per chicken feet. So Nick's chicken feet as a meal going forward. But they were great, man. They made sure we had everything. I never felt poor. I'll tell you a funny story about my mother. I almost killed her a couple times. So I got 1 pair of shoes to play basketball for the season. And I could only wear them during the game. So my mom embarrassed me and bring me my damn shoes to the game. And as soon as the game was over, she's knocking on the door, wanting the shoes. So, because I could only play them, they had to last me the whole season. But man, she made sure that I got that 1 pair of shoes that lasted me the entire season. She was a spectacular lady, and so was my grandmother. And but I enjoyed growing up in a small town because I didn't worry about crime. I did not worry about crime, and I didn't know I was poor. I mean, that's because everybody else was poor. But they did the best they could, and I tried to take care of them when I got older and successful. And but I always appreciate what my mother and grandmother did for me, because I can't imagine what it's like to work in a meat factory or clean people's toilets all the time, but I was blessed to have a great mother and grandmother.
All right, so I want to bring up, it's very nice. I'm going to bring up one final thing before we open it up to questions with the audience. So you have a very famous clip on Inside the NBA where you talk about how you showered with your uniform back in the day because you had back-to-back games.
Yeah.
You're familiar with this clip, right?
100%.
Okay. So we're fortunate here tonight to have a man that knows if that's true or not. Do you know who I'm going to point out?
It's probably lumpy.
It's Lumpy. So can we turn the house lights back on for a moment? And a gentleman by the name of Alan Lumpkin, who just recently said farewell to the 76ers after 41 years full-time and 48 years overall as he was in the basketball administration in charge of logistics. Lumpy is over here. Can we turn the house lights back on if we have a chance to do that, Deanna? And Lumpy is here in the crowd. So I want you to tell that story so everybody can hear it. And then I'm going to ask Lumpy what is true, and what is false.
First of all, it's 100% true. So what's really funny, me and Kevin McHale were talking one night, and Shaq's listening, because he's nosy. And he's like, what are you guys talking about? We're talking about the old days. When we flew commercial. He says, you guys joking, right? We're like, no, fool, we flew commercial. He says, you guys being serious? Like my first 4 or 5 years in the NBA, we flew commercial.
Yeah.
And you had to wash your jersey. So you're flying the next morning. So after the game, well, first of all, you went out and found something to eat. You get in the shower in your jersey, soap it down, and just try to find a place to get it to dry out, because you're flying. You know what's so crazy? I always think about, we got a bunch of big dudes, 7-foot guys, sleeping all over the airport, because you have to get to the airport. The NBA rule was you have to catch the first flight out of town. You guys know at every airport in the world, the first flight is 6, 7 at the latest. So we got like 25 people. We're leaving the hotel at 4:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock, depending on what the flight is. We're all sleeping like fools. Half the guys on the floor, because some guys I have no idea why, so they can't sleep standing, sitting up. I can sleep any damn where. I love when people say to me they can't sleep on a plane. I'm like, you can't? I'm gonna sleep before the plane take off. But yeah, we used to take a shower in our uniforms. It was so crazy. Like these guys today, I think the first time, so I got to NBA in 84, 85. The Pistons won the championship, I think, in 88 and 89. They were the first NBA team to have their own plane. And I'm gonna tell you something, flying commercial compared to charters, it's like the easiest, nicest thing in the world. It was so convenient, because there was a couple times I would get to a city and I couldn't move my arm, and our trainer's like, dude, what happened to your arm? Did you get hurt in the game last night? I like, nah, man, I had this old ass lady land on me. I had this old lady land on me and coach, and I didn't want to be an asshole. And I was like, I'm sitting there thinking, I hate you so much right now. But this old sweet lady is leaning on my shoulders for 3 hours. And I was like, because I was raised, you got to respect your elders. But man, I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes I get to the next city, I can't even lift my damn arm. And I was thinking about that old lady during the game, like, man, I got it. Especially, I had to ride coach my first couple of years, too. That's another thing for you guys to say. Because only the veteran guys got to ride in first class. But it was good, man. It's hilarious talking about it now. Because these guys, they would never ride in coach, today's players.
All right, so Al Lumpkin, can you come over to one of the microphones? Where's the microphones? Right over here. We got microphones here set up for Can you move that microphone back up to the middle of the aisle, please? Thank you. And please give a round of applause to Alan Lumpkin. So we've got, hopefully audio's got the mic right there. Lumpy, thank you for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Us.
Yes. So for the record, once and for all, you would know you were in the locker room when this man was showering in his uniform in the locker room.
Yep.
Is it true?
It's true.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I text, or I think I called Charles after they were talking about
Yeah,
it.
the
and
guy thought I was lying. I'm like,
Yeah.
who would make up a story like that?
Exactly. It's
Hey,
no.
hey, I want to say this. I met that guy in 84, 85. He's been a great friend for all these years. We've been together through good times, bad times. But I want to say, man, thank you for an incredible 40-some years together.
Yep.
I mean, the Sixers, man, when I got here in 1984-85, it was interesting coming to Philadelphia. Because, you know, I went from a small town to a college small town, and then you wake up one day in Philly. I'll tell you a funny story about Philly. My first snowstorm, I was like, God, we played not even half the season, but I'm still tired because it's still a lot when you start playing against these big dudes every night. I'm like, thank God I get to sleep in. So I'm sleeping. Depending on what team you play for, you practice at 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock. We practice at 10. My phone rings around 10:30. They're like, Rook, where you at? I said, yo, man, I'm sleeping. They're like, why aren't you at practice? That's because it's 25 inches of snow outside. They're like, Rook, we don't miss practice because of snow. I'm like, what? You're already $2,000 in. I'm like, $2,000 in what? For every minute you late. Hey, no shower, no brushing teeth. I jump in the car. I don't care what I smell like. I ain't got to talk to nobody. I get to St. Joe's as quick as possible. I think my bill was like $3,700. I'm like, y'all work when it's snowing? What kind of shit is that? Can't be out here driving when it's 20-something inches of snow, but that was my first realize, like, you have to go to work when it's snowing, man. It's crazy up here.
So, Lumpy, what would you say about this man right here that you know so well?
No, he's the best. Very generous. It was a situation at St. Joe. We were practicing at St. Joe's, and somebody went to a church and around Christmas time, stole a bunch of gifts for kids. And Charles didn't want anybody to know, but he replenished all the gifts that were stolen. And his biggest thing was he didn't want anybody to know about it. And that's who he is. He's just a regular guy. He sat in the 700 level at the vet for a couple Eagles games back in the day, and you know the 700 level was something else.
Thank you, brother.
No, he's the best.
You know, people ask me why I am like I am. I says, yo, man, I dribble a stupid ass basketball. I says, we are, and I ain't trying to be humble, whatever. I said, we the luckiest dudes in the world. I says, we are so lucky. I says, we ain't teachers. We ain't firemen, we ain't policemen, we ain't somebody who's in the armed service. I said, man, we get paid. We're so lucky and blessed. I said, if you think you better or important, I said, come on, man, somebody needs to slap the shit out of you. I says, to be able to dribble a ball, throw a football, hit a baseball, and to make all the money that I was blessed to make. I ain't jealous of what these guys made today. I said, but I'm smart enough to know how lucky because I tell people, you don't work harder. Anybody think you do a football player and a basketball player work hard? Yes, they don't work no hard, no damn nurses. They don't work no hard, no damn teachers. They don't work no damn harder than firemen. Hey, come on. And anybody who thinks that just stupid.
Alan, thank you for being here.
Thanks for
tonight.
being here,
Well,
Lon.
All right. So, Joe, can you do me a favor and move that microphone up there? We'll go both sides, so if you have questions, come on down now, and you can get in line, ask a question to Charles. We'll go back and forth from one side of the aisle to the other, and feel free to line up and ask questions. So there they go. They're all lining up, ready to ask Charles a question. All right, we'll start on the same side as Alan Lumpkin. So who's in line first? Over here? All right. Let's keep it to about 10 to 15 in line, all right? Because I don't know if we're going to get to all of you. All right, let's go first, right over here. Go ahead. Right here.
Okay, first off, I just want to say, my dad says he could watch you any time of the day, like all the time. He loves you.
Thank you.
And then my question is, was there ever a point in your career where you felt like quitting, and how did you push through it?
Well, number one, tell your dad thank you. Listen, I said the same. You can ask Ernie Johnson and Kenny and Shaq. I said the same thing. So there's like a clock countdown. The girl stage manager, Mickey's like 10, 9, like that. I said the same thing before every show. I said, guys, we ain't saving the fucking world. It's just basketball. Ernie says, he's right. I said, yo, man, it's just basketball. We ain't saving the fucking world. I said, and I've said this publicly many times, you can't ever quit. The one thing you have to understand, no matter who you are, man, good stuff gonna happen and bad stuff gonna happen. Like, it ain't never gonna be great all the time, but it ain't never gonna be bad all the time either. And you have to accept the fact, like when my first brother died, I was like, oh. Then when my second brother died, my second brother he was a junkie. He died at 40. And I remember spending all that money going to rehab, because I'm very sensitive to people who have a drug problem, because it's hard to beat it, man. Every time I meet somebody who beat it, I'm proud of you for beating it, because, man, it is hard. I did a lot of research. I remember when my brother overdosed a few times, and my mom was a wreck, and I was trying to play in the NBA, and you know, you're trying to play basketball, and you're trying to call your mom every day, and you're hoping your brother gets his act together. So you have to just make sure that you keep grinding. Because like I say, it ain't great all the time, but it damn sure ain't bad all the time. You just got to keep going. And another thing, too, man, somebody always got it worse than you. Like, we buried one of my teammates a couple months ago. He was only 52 years old. I would have been dead for 10 years. And I was like, wow, he got it bad. But that's why I don't like, you know what, somebody always got it worse than me. So I just keep grinding, and because like, it's always gonna get better. Like I say, it ain't good all the time, but it damn sure ain't bad all the time.
Let's go over here to this side.
Hey, Charles, welcome back.
Thank you, brother.
My name's Dylan, and what's the funniest behind-the-scenes story you had inside the NBA?
Well, that Bronson kid's a hell of a player, man. I got to, me, him, and Jay, I become really close with Jay Wright, because Jay Wright protected my daughter when she's at Villanova. He kept all the boys away. So he asked me to come down and play some golf with Jalen this summer, and his dad, Rick. I beat him. There's some crazy stories. Well, I tell you what's funny about Shaq. When Shaq first got the job, he tried to do something funny every night. And we're like, he knew it's only week 3, right? And he's like, what do y'all think I should do tonight? I'm like, we'll let you do your own thing, man. So after about a month, we had to call a team meeting. We're like, yeah, man, we only been on TV for a month. The joke became, we're only like 2 shows away from him setting himself on fire. Like, Shaq, we're gonna go for 7 months. You can't try to outdo yourself every night. He's like, what do you mean? I says, dude, we got 7 months. We were computing. You're 2 shows away from setting yourself on fire on national television. But we just told him, like, man, just have fun. It's just basketball. I want to make sure when you guys and girls, because I tell people, there's 2 different artists that I'm always trying to reach, or we're trying to reach. There's somebody who really likes basketball, but he's with a girl who don't like basketball. We got to make sure she likes basketball. There's a dad there watching basketball with his son or his daughter. I want to make sure the kid is having a good time, and especially the daughter. That's the number one thing that I want to do. I said, I know the dude who like basketball gonna watch it, but I want his wife or his girlfriend to enjoy it too. So we try to make sure that the other person, not the regular hardcore basketball fan, because they gonna watch. But I don't want them watching by themselves. So, but it's fun though, watching basketball. We try to make it as fun as possible.
All right, let's go over on this side. Go ahead.
How you doing, Mr. Barkley?
Charles, brothers, you can call me Charles or Chuck. That's it.
I was basically wondering, what's the best piece of advice you've ever given or received?
You can't make everybody happy. Any person who thinks they can make everybody happy is going to go insane. Because people just like you just because their life suck. Like, they just like miserable people out here. You can't make everybody happy. You have to be able to look yourself in the mirror. I understand this. My last name is not my last name. It's my family's name. I learned that from Herm Edwards, who's one of the greatest men I've ever been around. He used to talk to his players in college and in the NFL. He says, you know that's not your last name, right? And the players asked, what do you mean? It's my last name. He says, no, it's your family's name. I think that my mother and grandmother were proud of me because I was never particularly close with my dad, but I understand everybody here, your last name is your family's name. There's some people who did some heavy lifting to get you to Rowan, to get you through high school. Y'all ain't had no job, so y'all didn't pay your damn bills. There was somebody working to put food on the table and put clothes on your back. Like, I know it's their job, but they did it well. And then it got you to college. So I think the best advice is, hey man, the name on the back of your driver's license and the name on your jersey, it ain't your name, it's your family's name. That's probably the best advice I got.
We've got a freshman over here, Charles. I'm joking. Go ahead, young man.
Hi, Mr. Charles. If you have one NBA player to pick, who do you think would dunk on you?
Well, first of all, clearly you be watching a guy get 2 free throws. There is a 100% chance if you try to dunk on me, I'm gonna knock the hell out of you. Like in my day, you could actually do that. Now you can get suspended for a week. You have to check your ego at the door when you're playing sports. I've been dunked on many times. If you play sports, you're gonna get embarrassed. Your job is to go back and embarrass them. But Michael Jordan's dunked on me before. Alonzo Mourning's dunked on me before. Shaq's dunked on me before. But you can't, getting dunked on is no big deal, man. If you play sports, somebody's going to cross you up. Remember the time everybody played that tape where Michael Jordan got crossed up by Allen Iverson? Man, if you play sports, there's always somebody going to get you. But you just like, okay, I'm going to get them too.
All right, let's go over here. Go ahead.
How you doing, Charles?
Yes, sir.
Can we get a Michael Jordan story?
Michael Jordan's nuts. So we're playing on the Dream Team getting ready for the Olympics. So we're playing Puerto Rico in the Tournament of Americas. So that morning, me and Michael, David Robertson, and Chuck Daly go out and play golf. We played early because we wanted to be done by noon. So we played, and we said, Chuck said, let's get back to the hotel, get some rest for the game. Michael said, I'm going to play 18 more. I'm like, damn, that's impressive. So Michael said, Chuck, I'm good, okay? So this dude plays 36 holes of golf. This goes back to that mentality I was telling you. So then we're in there getting out ankle tapes, and Chuck's like, David, you got this guy. Charles, you got this guy. Scotty, you got this guy. Magic, you got this guy. Michael looks up. I got him. He's like, Michael, he's the point guard. He says, I got him. Chuck says, okay. The game starts. And Michael is screaming at this kid, don't you ever fucking mention my name in the newspaper. I'm Michael fucking Jordan. He's guarding this dude like it's game 7 of the finals. He's screaming at this kid. And we're like, yo, man, there's something wrong with this dude. Like, you know that drill where you turn dudes? Michael, after 36 holes, he's turning this dude, and this dude's like scared to dribble, and he's screaming at him. And we're looking like, yo, man, this dude took everything personally. That's the mentality. I was like, it's something different about this guy. He is going to win at all costs, no matter what. But he's screaming at, this ain't even the Olympics. We're getting ready for the Olympics. This is after 36 holes of golf, and this is damn Puerto Rico. We're not even worried about Puerto Rico. But he's guarding this dude and screaming at him. And I was like, yo, we were like, just let him be, man. Because he's going to be who he is. That's who he is.
Go ahead, Gerasimos.
Good evening, Charles. Thank you very much for being here. It's a pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
Looking back at your playing career and honestly your broadcasting career right now as an analyst, what's the biggest mistake that you made? How did you face it? And how did that make you a better person today?
Great question. A lot of stupid things. It's hard to come down to one. I think I got arrested a few times for fighting. This is an asshole here, y'all. This dude told me I should let somebody hit me one time. Neil's waiting at me. He comes to the house after I got arrested one time. He said, Charles, you can't be fighting. I said, dude, what? The dude said he was going to punch me in my face. What was I supposed to do? You're Charles Barkley. I'm like, I got to let this dude punch me in my face? I said, Neil, get out of my house.
Well, and then you called Jimmy Lana, who was your coach at the time.
Yeah.
Jimmy, Neil's telling him he's got to let. Jimmy goes, Neil, I think Charles is right. I'm like, what?
That's right. So I tell players, I'm older now. I don't want to hit fans. Always walk away, guys. If you're out somewhere with an idiot wants to fight, just walk away. Because sometimes it can be fatal for either one of y'all. I don't think you want to get hurt. I don't think you really want to hurt somebody. So always walk away. I was young and stupid. Oh, y'all know what I mean, because y'all young and stupid. Listen, ain't no perfect people out here. We all going to do some things we regret. So just walk away. Because anything can happen. I got a DUI one time. That was stupid. Could have killed somebody or myself. Learn something in that capacity. But we're all gonna make mistakes. Ain't no perfect people. So you just try to learn. But sometimes you got to be careful, because sometimes you make a mistake, it can be fatal. You just have to really be careful.
Really good question. All right, over here.
Hi, it's so nice to meet you. Oh my
Thank
God,
you.
my uncle is a big fan. His name's also Charles. I don't know. That's really cool. But I had a question. I'm a part of the women's basketball team here,
Yes.
and I'm also a forward, which I know you're a forward.
Yes.
Do you have any advice that you would give forwards, or what's one thing they need like in their bag, like when they're playing?
Well, rebounding got me to college and to the NBA. It sounds stupid, but the most valuable asset on the court is the ball. And if you get it more times than the other team, whether it's defensive rebounds or offensive rebounding, your team got a better chance of winning. Sounds stupid, but when you're used, I look at two stats. I said this probably 1,000 times. If you go back and look, rebounding and turnovers are the two most important stats in basketball. If you don't turn it over and you get more rebounds on the offensive end and defensive end, you're gonna win most of the time. I tell my forwards, yo man, get the ball. If you get the ball and we go, that's an advantage. If you give me a second shot or a third shot, that's an advantage. If forwards are rebounding the ball, your team is gonna be successful. That's my advice to all forwards. That got me to college and it got me to the NBA.
You also got applause from her coach, too.
Oh,
Rebounding.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Rebounding.
You know, people always ask me, like, I says, what's the most important part of the game? They're like, offense, defense. I'm like, probably the ball. They're like, what? I says, if you have the ball more than the other team, you're gonna win the game most of the time. When I tell kids that, I said, think about that. I says, when you get a defensive rebound, y'all going. And I said, if you give your team second and third opportunities, you're gonna be more successful. So rebounding and take care of the ball. Take care of the ball. If somebody's not looking at you, don't throw them the ball. You should, like, you were open. Yeah, but I wasn't looking at you. Don't throw me the ball if I'm not open. It drives me crazy. Like, no, that wasn't your fault. That was his fault or her fault. You were open. Yeah, but I wasn't looking for the ball.
Go ahead, Aiden.
Hi, Charles. My name is Aiden Ray. Thank you for taking the time to come tonight.
Of course.
The main thing I want to ask you is how important is just chemistry as a whole with your guys, especially in the studio with you guys and even with like just broadcasting as a whole?
Chemistry is important on all teams. And as the coach knows, it's very difficult to get chemistry. I played for 15 years, and I probably only had 5 or 6 teams that had great chemistry. Because everybody has a different agenda. Until you get everybody to have the same agenda, and that sounds bad, but it's really not that bad, because everybody's got to be on the same page. I'll give you an example. One of my great friends is Shaka Smart. He does this thing every year, and I got all my coach friends doing this. He does an anonymous survey, and I think this would be great for every coach. He says, tell me who should be starting and how many points you're going to average. It is anonymous. He says, every year, I got 12 starters, and we're going to average 195 points a game. Because every player thinks they're a starter, which I have no problem with that, and every player thinks they're going to average X amount of points. But to get that chemistry, you can only start 5. Those 5 coming off the bench can't take it personally. Just play when it's your time to play. So getting the chemistry on a team is really hard. Same thing on a thing in the studio. And we've had 3 times. So Shaq and Kenny were there, then I came in. And it takes a while. Then Shaq comes in, and we got to fit him in. It doesn't work like just throw guys together. It takes and we have to work with each other. That's the same way on a team. Okay, I want to start, but you know what? When I come off the bench, I'm gonna play my ass off, and I'm either gonna help the team win, or the coach gonna realize I should be starting. It works both ways. The coach has to make a decision. A lot of guys don't understand. Some of the greatest NBA players ever came off the bench. John Havlicek, Kevin McHale. They ended up starting, but they started coming off the bench. But also, they started, a coach knows, you might not start, but your ass gonna be in there when the game's on the line. So chemistry, but Pat Riley has a great phrase. I love it. Voluntary cooperation. He says, unless you have voluntary cooperation from all your players, you can't win. Because, hey, I can only play 5. Do I want to play 8? I will only play 5 at a time. But you other 3 gonna have to trust me. And that's how you win. And let me tell you something about coaches. A lot of players are full of shit. When I played, I would sit around on the bus or the plane sometime, and these guys would make my damn head hurt. And I'd be thinking to myself, so you said this morning when the coach woke up, he says, I'm just going to not play you because I just don't like you. No coach says that. Coach trying to save his damn job. Maybe somebody's better than you. Maybe you're not starting because you're better with the second group, because you're going to get more shots. Because if you play with the first group, them first 2 best players going to get all the shots. But if I play you with the second group, you're going to get all the shots with the second group. It's a lot of mind games going on, but it's still, before you have that chemistry, you got to always but I'll tell people, man, coaches are trying to win. This notion that the coach says, yeah, you know what, I'm not worried about winning, I just want to screw you. No coach has ever said that, ever. Who won? Go ahead.
Hey, Charles. There's segments y'all do on NBA on TNT, like Shaqtin' Full and your favorite, Who He Play For. Will those be back on ESPN?
That's a great question. I don't know. See, this thing is, that's why I'm really excited about the meeting tomorrow, because I've been blasting TNT because I think they don't run a business well. I shouldn't have to ask people when I'm at work or any of this schedule stuff. I've ran business before. I always treat my employees great. I've had to fire people, but I don't say get the hell out. I say, hey, listen, it just ain't working. I'm sorry if I can put a good word in for you with another company down the line, but there's a way you do things. I give an example with TNT. We literally were playing golf, watching the damn internet, figuring out if we lost the NBA. I says, they could have called us and told us. I was playing golf with the TNT guys because we knew it was 50-50 whether we kept the NBA or not. TNT didn't call us, didn't give us updates. And we're watching the internet. One story says we lost it. One story said, no, TNT's still hanging in there. Then we lost it, then we might have it. And I blasted them. I'm like, can y'all just call us and tell us that? call Ernie Johnson. He's the godfather. Because the people I worked with, because I wasn't worried about me, Kenny, Ernie, and Shaq, because we all had other opportunities, but the people I worked with, I actually love a lot. And I says, I'm playing golf with these dudes. They're gonna lose their jobs. They're gonna uproot their families. Well, they were just not gonna have a job. And they were stressed out. I took them out golfing to get the stress off them. And for TNT not to do a much better job of communicating, I thought that was unprofessional.
Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Charles.
Yes, sir.
My name is Uriah Young. Nice to meet you. And although I'm not a student here at Rowan, I was invited by Neil, so thank you for the opportunity. I want to thank you for all the memories growing up as a Sixers fan. I watched you so many nights on Prism. I was at the game where you played the Lakers and you hit the game-winning shot when Magic was in town. But I also want to thank you for inspiring me to be a teacher. I'm going into my 24th year as an educator, and thank you. And I remember being on the campus of Hampton University trying to figure out, what am I going to do with my life? And I'm here 2 years in, haven't picked a major yet. And I remember seeing you on television really just praising the efforts of educators around the country. And for 24 years, I'm proud to say I'm an educator, and I want to thank you for inspiring me.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, thank you. My man broke out Prism. You know, I do a lot with teachers, especially in my hometown. I think teachers, man, they're so amazing. They're underpaid and overworked, and I just admire them so much to take care of other people's brats. I do. Like, raising your own kid is a full-time job, but to deal with other people's kids and to have the patience. And I've had some great teachers in my life. Miss Hill, Miss Turk, amazing ladies, Miss Stone, my principal, Mr. Oxford, Mr. Honeycutt, Coach Copeland. I've had some great people in my life, especially when you're in a small town. It's like, and also because a lot of people, depends on where you go. I had the same people K through 12. And they're some of the more amazing people. And I try to do as much as I can for the teachers in my hometown. And number one, thanks for being a teacher, man. And really important and significant. Go ahead, you got a question?
My one question is, looking back on your NBA career, being on television, if you could describe your career in one word, how would you describe it?
Lucky, amazing, and crazy. And, you know, and I tell you what, when you grow up in a small town, and I grew up in the projects, and I wasn't even thinking about the NBA, to be honest with you. I was thinking, like, let me get my ass out of here. Let me get a scholarship and get a job. That's all I was thinking. And I was like, and then what's crazy is, I grew from 5'10" to 6'5" in 1 year. And because I was not on anybody's radar until my senior year. And people were like, where the hell did Charles Barkley come from? But I had that growth spurt, but I'm like, at this time, I'm not even thinking about the NBA. I'm thinking like, man, let me go to college. Because one of the great travesties in the country, one of the great travesties in the United States is what we're charging these kids to go to college. It's a travesty, it's a disgrace, because there's so many kids out here don't get an opportunity to go to school or a bigger school or whatever type of school because they don't have the economic opportunities because of the system we have in place here. College is so expensive, and it's really unfortunate that it's so expensive now. We live in a great country. The notion that kids who so smart got no chance at going to some of these schools, it's really unfair. Because where you're born and how you're born should not put strikes against you. And you just, like I say, you just got to keep grinding.
Charles, I'll just add that Rowan University is the third fastest growing university in the country. We're affordable, we're in a great location, and we have an incredible faculty. So,
you know, and number one, I'm so glad you said it's affordable because, man, some of these people are, I just signed a deal with the community college system in Alabama. I just did a PSA because these kids were amazing. They're pharmacists, they're doctors, and they started at a 2-year college. Their parents said they couldn't afford to go to a 4-year school. And so I started doing their commercials in the last year. And I was like, because their parents said, we can't afford to get in that type of debt. But they got started, and then when they started doing really well, they got scholarship offers from 4-year schools. And we just shot the PSA a couple months ago. And like I say, man, I just don't understand why the greatest country in the world is trying to make it so kids can't afford to go to certain schools.
right. All right. Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, Chuck. I've been a huge fan of Inside the NBA. I've seen a lot of clips on Instagram and watching you guys every night when there's a basketball game on. And I put a lot of thought into this question. If you had to spend a full 24 hours in one place, whether it's the dirty beaches of Galveston, Texas, or a full day with the women of San Antonio, which one would it be?
You know what's, I'm so old. I always tell people, I'm so old, you could tell a joke and it was just a joke. I made that joke about, well, I wasn't joking about Galveston. So I get traded to Houston on my last legs, and I'm like, I'm not even sure I want to play anymore. I've had a great career. They're like, no, we really, really want you. And I was like, Texas? Damn, it's gonna be hot in Texas. They're like, man, we have training camp at the beach. I'm like, oh, this is sounding pretty damn good here. So, got a couple months off, get ready. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have a training camp at the beach, maybe I can recharge and have a couple more good years. So I go down to Galveston. Galveston is located where all the shit rushes in Texas. The beach is right there. The water is black. And you're looking like, whoa. They're like, don't take your shoes off. If you're like, what good is a beach if you can't go in the water? The people were tremendous. But I was like, we're not at the beach. We're by the beach. And that was fun. But San Antonio, man, I had so much fun with those people down there. I want people to laugh and have a good time. It's just basketball. And the women down there had the Charles Barkley shirts when I went down there. They got a good sense of humor. So probably San Antonio.
All right, let's go on this side.
Hello, Charles. Thank you for being here. And I just want to say, if my dad were here, he'd want me to say this. He said you were the hardest working athlete he ever saw. And that says a lot because he typically, anyone before the 1980s, he doesn't like to talk about. So he'd want me to say that. My question for you is, how do you balance dreaming big while also being realistic about your goals?
That's a great question. Number one, I felt so lucky and blessed to be in the NBA. Like, man, this is my job to just play as hard as I could. I mean, the longest you're gonna work is 2 hours in a day. I was like, they gonna pay me to play basketball? And so I always wanted to, it's only 2 hours a day, and I didn't want to cheat anybody who came to watch the Sixers play, so thank you for that, your dad. So the goal thing is interesting. I think you have to be careful setting goals. What I mean by that is, there are some people in here right now going to accomplish some amazing shit, and they don't even know it yet. I mean, I tell kids that, I says, we don't know. You have to work hard and put yourself in situations. You think when I was at Lee's High School, I think we had 108 people who graduated, that I thought I was going to become one of the best players in the SEC? Hell no. But I kept getting better and working hard. Most people didn't think I was going to make it in the NBA. So the point I'm making is the goal thing is always sliding. Because if you say, well, I want to do this, well, okay, you got that. You ain't dead. And you're like, I don't feel like I'm close to where I can be. So setting goals, I think, is tricky, because you can set them too high. But I think you have to have a sliding scale. Because like I say, once you start having success, you're going to keep working harder and keep it moving. So I think it's great to set goals. You have to set realistic goals. But you set goals, you accomplish it, you keep it moving. That's how you do it. That's the way I tell people. I says, I don't know how good you can be in basketball. I mean, it's such a sliding scale. Like I say, there's not just one. There's many people sitting here right now. In 5, 10, 15 years, they're going to accomplish some amazing shit. And they don't even know it. They don't even know it. That's the beauty of this journey. Like I say, and I mean that sincerely, there's some people in here tonight, I don't have any idea, they don't even know who the hell it is. They're going to accomplish some great stuff. And you just have to keep going. You don't know. So that's my answer to your question.
Thank you. All right, let's go over here.
How you doing, Mr. Charles Barkley?
Just Charles, brother, or Chuck. Either one work.
Okay. How you doing, Charles?
Good.
My grandmother has a picture of you and her at her house. She recently passed away, and when I saw you were coming to Rowan, I thought it would be a great opportunity to come see you. So my question to you, a few years ago, it was after a game in Boston, and you were referring to this experience you wanted to partake in. I believe you were talking about the Mons stuff.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you ever got an opportunity to sit on the Mons stuff.
I have not, man. You know, number one, rest in peace. My grandmother's the greatest influence in my life. And shout out to your grandmother. So as I'm on the back nine of life, I want to sit on the Green Monster in Boston. I want to go to Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. See, these are football games, except Fenway. Like, I love sports, because sports has given me every single thing that I've had in my life. So I admire certain things. So I need to go to Notre Dame one time, or Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. I need to sit on the Green Monster. I'm glad they added those seats. I mean, that's got to be a crazy opportunity. I want to do, you know, I'll tell y'all a funny story. Peyton Manning, who's a good friend, he called me a couple months ago. He says, Chuck, I got a proposition for you. You want to go play Augusta National? I said, hell yeah. He says, I said, yeah, count me in. He says, you don't even know the dates yet. I said, I don't give a shit. I says, whatever I got on the calendar is canceled. And he took me down to Augusta National. It was like 2 weeks before the Masters. Man, you talking about can eat off the fairways? They don't even need plates. That place was so immaculate. And we spent a couple days down there, me and him and Grant Hill and Dwayne Wade. And we played golf for 2 days. And it was 2 of the best days of my life. Apparently, Neil's a coward. So it's impossible to get on Augusta National. I've only met like 2 people in my entire life who can get me on Augusta National. So Neil is getting married. And the guy says, Chuck, I can get you on Augusta National this day. I said, Neil, I'm gonna get us a private jet. We're gonna fly down to Augusta National. We're gonna play, and we're gonna get back to Philly. He says, Charles, I'm getting married that day. I said, Neil, your wedding's not till 6 o'clock. He says, Charles, I can't do it. I said, Neil, because we staying at a hotel, we out having fun the night before. I said, Neil, I can get us a jet. We'll leave here at 6. We'll land there around 8, 8:30, 12:30, even an extra 5 hours. We're probably gonna play faster because there's nobody on the golf course. We'll be back in Philly by 4 or 5. Then go.
And I'm still happily married.
All right.
You go talk to Lauren.
Still happily married, still haven't played Augusta.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. That story was actually 1993. All right, we got a few more minutes to go. Here we go.
What's up, Charles? The next question, well, first I want to start it with I feel your pain. Last week on Sunday, the one game I take the under, Jalen Hurts remembers how to throw a football over 200 yards, so I feel your pain, brother.
Oh.
I lost so much on that.
Yeah.
But this is more of a sports question. With all the fines and restrictions players have on what they say today, how do you feel that these major sports leagues don't really allow the players to speak their unfiltered opinions without getting backlash for it or fines?
Yeah, man, we're in very interesting times right now. Free speech is not free. I feel sad more than anything. I just feel sadness because the internet is scumbag heaven. I'm new to the internet in the last year or so. I got Instagram because I bought a distillery in Alabama to do vodka and gin. They told me I had to do social media. I said I'd always resisted, and I see why. Free speech, man, it's a lot of good and bad stuff out there. Players have to be careful because they work for a team, because these politicians are so smart and we're so stupid. They got the ultimate divide and conquer mentality working right now. I wish the public knew how stupid we are listening to these fools, these political fools. So I really feel sadness in that aspect. I wish that people realize how full of shit the Democratic and the Republican parties are. And what's really happening is rich people making a fool out of poor people. The way the whole system works is they just got to make people fight with each other, the rich people, and they do the better job at it than the other people. Instead of, if the poor people would band together and realize rich people make us hate each other and fight each other, and they're laughing all the way to the bank. And both parties are awful, just for the record. But I just feel sadness that the people aren't smart and realize they're playing chess and we're living in a checkers world. I'm never going to not say what I want to say because we can't have selective free speech. We can't do that. Now, that opens up a Pandora's box, but you can't be selective. But man, it's crazy times out there right now. I believe this though. I believe we got more good people than bad people. They just fucking louder. Yeah. I do. I'm never gonna be pessimistic. I think there are way more good people out there than bad people. The bad people just louder, but you can't ever give in and become pessimistic, man. There's so much good out here. There's so much good out here. But the noise is loud. It's very loud.
All right, right here.
Hey, Chuck. My original question was about them San Antonio women. So I'm going to switch it up.
Okay.
So in your NBA career, what is the hardest team you've had to play against with the harshest fan base?
Well, the best player I ever played against is Kevin McHale. You know, I was having dinner in Panama last week with some NBA people. We all went down there for the week. And we were talking last night, like, my friend runs the Indiana Pacers, and we agree that Philly, New York, and Boston is something different. When they talk about your mama, they actually mean it. Like when you go to Texas, they'll be like, your mama, or something like that, or you go to Chicago, maybe they'll say, your mama. Like, they say bad stuff about your mama in Philly, New York, and Boston. Those are the three toughest fan bases, in my opinion. They're great fan bases, I might add. It's a home field advantage. It takes the players to another level, mentally and physically. Does it go overboard at times? 100%. It should never be personal or derogatory or anything like that. But I think East Coast fans are the most intense, in my opinion.
We are 90 minutes into the program here tonight, and I'm going to give one more question on this side, one more on this side, okay? I just hope you all understand we're limited on time, obviously, but Charles has been very generous, giving 90 minutes of his time. So let's go one more question here, and then one more question here.
I'll tell you what we'll do.
Go ahead, Charles.
We'll do three more questions on each side.
All right. All right, there you go. Three more. So 3 more. All right. Hey, he's in charge, right? Charles is in charge. Go ahead.
What's up, Chuck?
What's up?
Who was the hardest working teammate you ever played with?
That's a great question. When I was in Philly, it would probably be a guy named Derek Smith. Derek Smith was one of my favorite teammates, rest in peace. Probably in Phoenix, probably Mark West and Dan Marley. But I played with a guy named Derek Smith here in Philly who passed away it's probably 30 years now, but he was probably one of my favorite teammates ever. Hardest working too.
His son was Nolan Smith, who played at Duke, was a good player
Yes.
in college. All right, over here.
Hi, Chuck.
Hey, babe.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm good too. As a leader, how did you mentally prepare for the biggest games when the pressure was the highest and everyone was looking at you to perform? And if you ever played below your expectations, how did you stay locked in for the next game?
Well, when you're a great player, or the best player on a team, it's a double standard. When I didn't play good, I felt bad for letting the guys down. Like, no shit is a double standard. That's a responsibility that comes with being a great player or the best player. Like, that's a responsibility. I felt bad when I didn't play well, because I knew I let the other guys down. You don't try to play bad, but the one thing you can't do is let it keep going. Like, you got to get back up quickly. Like, you can have a bad game. You can have 2 bad games. You might even have 3 bad games, but you got to get back to playing well. When you're not playing well, you have to simplify the game. So when I wasn't playing well, the one constant, you can always rebound. The hardest part of sports, of basketball, is making shots. And it ain't like you're out there by yourself. Sometimes you play against great defenders, or the refs aren't giving you a break here or there, so you're missing some shots that you normally make. But rebounding is the one constant. I was like, you know what? I got to get 17, 18 rebounds tonight. I can't get 11 or 12. I can't make a shot. I got to get some more rebounds. That's going to help my team. That goes back to what I was telling you earlier. If I get this rebound, if I kick it, we might get layup. We're going to get a couple more layups and things like that. The one thing as a basketball player, there's only one ball out there. You have to find a way to help your team win. The most underrated aspect of basketball is energy. Like, okay, I'm not gonna get shots, but I'm gonna be out here raising hell. The other team gonna know, like, I'm working. So you have to find a way to make an imprint on the game. Hey, everybody can't score. The notion that everybody's going to score, that's just stupid. But you can bring energy, which is one of the most underrated talents in sports. You can bring defense. You can bring rebounding. You can be a good damn cheerleader. I mean, I can tell a good teammate when guys, I watch guys when guys are like let's say a guy throw an interception or he fumble. How many guys walk over there and pat him on the back? Dude didn't try to fumble. He didn't try to throw an interception. Be a good teammate. Like, I literally, and let me tell you something. Kevin Johnson, one of my favorite teammates. If you throw me a ball and I turn it over and you do all this shit, so I get traded to Phoenix in '92. Kevin throws me a pass, and he does that histrionic stuff. I says, okay. I say, hey, man, if you do that shit again, I'm going to punch you in your face in front of 20,000 people. Well, you should have caught the ball. No shit, I should have caught the ball. You think I tried to? I says, do you want me to do some histrionics every time you do some shit bad? Never thought about it like that. Okay, think about it like that. He says, and that's what I tell players. Like, you throw me a pass and I lose it. And you see quarterbacks talk about that a lot. Like, when a guy drops a ball, like, yo, man, don't do that. Be a good teammate, plain and simple.
Let's go over here.
Hi, Charles. Joe here. Thank you for coming. First, before I ask my question, you were talking about the cheerleaders in the Barkley shirts. Real ones knew they flew them in from Dallas.
That's right.
Second, I want to take you back to the Eastern Conference semifinals, Game 1, halftime. I'm a diehard New York sports fan. You said the Knicks, the series was done and they had no chance. Not only did we come back and win that game, we won the series. Have you ever had another sports take where it backfired on you like that?
Oh, yeah. So the Knicks blew a 20-point lead in Game 1. Excuse me, Celtics. Then came back and had another 20-point lead in Game 2. First of all, nobody picked the Knicks to win that series. Let's get that out the way.
I did.
Yeah, you did. You know, I'm not sure what happened to the Celtics, to be honest with you. You got to give the Knicks their flowers, but it's rare for teams to blow two 20-point leads at home when you're the defending champs too. And nobody thought the Knicks was going to win that series, but we get them wrong all the time because there's a team. When somebody asks you who you think gonna win, you're like, I'm gonna go with the best team. And then when they lose, you're like last night, Monday Night Football. They were joking this morning on television. The Detroit Lions put on there, everybody on ESPN last night picked the Ravens. And ain't nothing wrong. I bet on the Ravens. But when you on television, they ask you who's gonna win. You're like, I thought the Ravens were gonna win last night. So yeah, you're wrong a lot on television. Well, let's go.
Hey Charles, my name is Jordan, which is kind of annoying this question, but now that LeBron is the all-time leading scorer in NBA history with over 39,000 point careers, also ranking top 5 in assists and still climbing rankings in rebounds, blocks, and steals, all while consistently playing 20-plus seasons at an elite level for an old man, winning 4 championships, 4 MVPs, and making 19 All-NBA teams. Who is better, Jordan or LeBron?
You know, those are some incredible stats.
They are.
Those are some incredible stats. I'm never going to say anything bad about LeBron, I told you. I think he's the 3rd best player I've ever seen play after Michael and Kobe. Two things I'll say. The game is easier to play. Would you at least say that today? There's no physicality whatsoever. You think there's physicality in the NBA?
They would think Steph Curry's a magician in your era.
We would have beat the hell out of that little dude. See, actually, seriously, I love Steph Curry. You think Steph Curry could have took the beatings that Michael Jordan took? Seriously, think about this. Go back and look at The Last Dance, the way the Pistons, and what's crazy about it, what makes it really crazy, they just got 2 free throws. The way they were hitting Michael Jordan, today if you did it, you get suspended for a month. They just got 2 free throws back in my day. And listen, that's like quarterbacks in the NFL today. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, their numbers are going to be extinct in 5 years because they're throwing the ball an extra 25 times a game now. It's just a different game now. So I don't think those guys today, when they pass Tom Brady and Peyton and Drew Brees, they're going to pass those guys. There's guys who you ain't even good players going to pass those guys because they're throwing the ball 50 times a game now. That goes back to Neil's point. It's just different eras. I love LeBron. I'm not going to say anything bad about him. He didn't go to college for 3 years. You have to factor that in also. He had a 3-year head start on Michael. Okay, since you want me that. So, I'm going to just give a couple of things about, if he wanted to do it fair, he would say, well, how many games did Michael Jordan play compared to LeBron? And actually, if you look at the numbers, Michael actually had 5,000 more points in his career, same number of games. 5,000, which is 2.5 NBA seasons. But you have to factor in, Michael went to college for 3 years. And if you remember, he broke his foot his first year, and he retired for 2 years. So if Michael went to the NBA 3 years sooner, not missed his rookie year with a broken foot, and not retired for 2 years, he would be the all-time leading scorer.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
Did you ever look at how many shots Michael Jordan took and how many shots LeBron took?
I did not.
Michael
They
Jordan.
were both gunners.
Michael Jordan took way more shots.
Well, that was his job.
So
and let me tell you something. LeBron, we compare him favorable to Magic Johnson. He's a more of a triple threat than Michael was. I'll agree with that. But let me ask you a question. I want you to be honest with me in your heart.
All right.
If you had one game and you said, I need to win game 7, would you want LeBron, Michael, or Kobe in one game win all?
LeBron.
Okay.
Let's go back to Cleveland. Take it back to Cleveland.
All right, let's move over here. Go ahead, Benji.
All right, so hey Charles, my name is Ben Silk, and as a big sports and NBA fan, I want to know who you think's going to win the NBA championship this year and why. Celtics.
You know, I think this is going to be a fascinating NBA season. I got zero idea who's going to win the East. Zero. I mean, obviously, I think the Celtics are cooked without Tatum and Porzingis and Drew Holiday. The Pacers are cooked without Miles Turner and Halliburton. The Knicks and the Cavs are going to be favored. But let me say this, and this is a big damn if. If the Sixers could get healthy. If the Sixers could get healthy, they could win the East. As far as the West, OKC is the team to beat. But the Rockets, with the addition of Kevin Durant, they're going to be tough, man. The Nuggets got the best player in the world in the Joker. They went out and got him some help finally. But I would still pick OKC. So, man, it's going to be fascinating watching the basketball this year.
All right, last question right here. Go ahead.
How you doing, Chuck? My
Yes,
name's
sir.
Sam. I grew up watching you a bunch on Inside the NBA during the mornings before school. I just have one question for you. What was the hardest time in your career, whether that being when you first picked up a basketball or when you were last legs when you were in last legs in your career? What was the driving force to help you get through that?
That's the worst. That's the worst by far, when you can't play anymore. It sucks. Like, my last 2 years, I sucked. It was like, damn, this is a hard-ass game. And I was saying to myself, did they raise the rim or something? And it ends for everybody badly. It ends badly for everybody. I mean, the only person retired on top was Jim Brown. Like Michael Jordan from the Wizards, that wasn't Michael Jordan. But I can't remember any jock who retired when he wasn't on top, who retired on top. That's never happened. Because you want to play as long as you can, because once you stop playing, it's over. But those last 2 years, man, because like I could actually see it, but my body wouldn't move. That's the thing. Like your brain works, but your body doesn't. And your last legs is the worst, because even when you're young and dumb, you do some talented things when you're learning how to play. Like, people forget Kobe Bryant struggled in the beginning, but you saw something like, woo, he got some stuff. But it took him a while to put it together. You know, same thing with Kevin Garnett. When we were drafting those high school players, they had no idea how to play basketball, but you could see, like, damn, they got a lot of talent. But your last legs are the worst, because your brain functioning, but your body ain't working, and that just flat out sucks.
And on that note, let us thank Charles Barkley for being here tonight. Thank you, Rowan University. Thank you, students. Thank you, Sports Cam. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Good night.